Oh, hey, hi, I didn't see you there. Nice to see you again. I'm glad you stopped by. Listen, I was just remembering that story you told me. And the story was about, as I recall, it was just after the first of the year, a couple days into the year, and you get the phone call from your old friend, Nathan. Nathan says, listen, I got a situation. Maybe you can help me out with it. I know you're a CPA. It's about the Affordable Care Act. You said, sure, yeah, we're going to do for you. What can we do? Well, your friend Nathan is a life insurance salesman, so they don't give him insurance, so he has to buy his own insurance, and he buys it through the exchange. Right. You were telling me that Nate said in the prior year he didn't do so good. 2020 was a hard year with the pandemic. Sales were down. People were afraid. He only made about $35,000 a year for the year. So when the new year started and he goes for the Affordable Care Act, they asked what the income is. Well, last year's income was $35,000. He didn't know if he was going to do any better. He told him $35,000. He got a subsidy, which is built into the his premium. But as it turns out, 2021 was a much better year, especially the second half of the year, especially the last quarter of the year, and he did $75,000 worth of income. Well, that's great, wonderful, congratulations to Nate. And you said, yes, that's great for Nate, but he was concerned because he was aware in the back of his mind there that what's going to happen with this Affordable Care Act? Yeah. And so he was all afraid. He was like, what's going to happen? I mean, how are they going to know how much I made? When am I going to have to pay it back? How much is it going to be? Did I do something wrong? I never told him I was making more money. And, you assured him. You said, listen, okay, I get your point, especially if it happened in the fourth quarter. How do you know what the income's going to be? Sure. Okay, well, you're going to settle it up come April 15th. When your accountant goes and does your taxes, it all gets settled up. So Nate's like, okay, that's good. That's like 4 months away. That's great. But you know what? I think maybe I need to be prepared. Can you help me calculate what that subsidy, was, or if I'm going to have to pay any of it back? What's the settlement thing? How are we going to do that? So you said, yeah, I can guide you through that. Sure. Listen, what you need to do, first step is you got to go up and either reach out to your insurance company, go get the statement, log online. It'll tell you, for you, how much did you pay in premium? You know how much you paid. What was the gross amount of the premium? You didn't pay that, but that's usually on the stub. They will provide that information of what the gross insurance bill was. You strike a difference between the two, and that's your subsidy. Okay, well, that makes sense. So what happened in this case, I asked? Well, basically what he did was we knew that the gross insurance for, the insurance company was $513 a month, based on your age, and your net premium, that's, based on what you selected, and the net premium that you paid was $220 a month. So that difference is $293 a month. That was the subsidy the government gave you. Times 12 months is your annual subsidy of $3,516. Okay, yeah, I get that. There, is that it? Are we done? No. He said, no, we're not quite done. We need to determine your single silver, the second lowest silver plan, the SLSP. What the heck's that? Well, that's the benchmark premium that the government goes by. Benchmark premiums, SLSP. Just a minute. Hold the phone. Let me get my thinking cap on. It's getting a little complicated here. Okay, all right, what's next? How do we do this SLSP thing? Well, you're going to get a thing in the mail, a 1095A form, and you're going to give that to your accountant, and on there, it has, what was the gross premium? What was the net premium? What was the subsidy? It's really easy peasy, but you won't get that for a few more months. Well, what do I do now? Well, we can back into it. We can figure it. We can compute it. I mean, normally it's done internally in the system, but we can compute it. Okay, how do we do that? Well, what you have to do is, first step is you got to find out the family poverty level. So Google family poverty level for the year you're interested in. So I pulled it up right here. So for the year 2021, the family poverty level for the 48 contiguous states in the District of Columbia, and then it's based on household family size. So if it's a single person, it's 12,880. Nate, well, Nate's married. Okay, so just the two of them, yes. It's 7,420. If there's 3 people in the household, it's 21,960, and you can read down and see what everybody else is. Okay, got it. All right, what else do I need? Well, you're going to have to go out to the IRS, to the website, go on the internet, and look for Form 8962 Premium Tax Credit. It's an IRS document. Just Google it and download it. And it looks like this over here. 2021 Instructions for Form 8962. And Nate said, holy cow, you want me to read that? I don't understand. Let's look at the fine print. That's craziness. No. It looks intimidating. We're not going to read the whole thing. Just go to page 9. Page 9 has a table there, okay? You can see the table. There's a bunch of numbers written down, like 150, 151, 152. Next to it, there's another column, 0.00, 0.004, 0.008. You're just going to read down and find a number on the left-hand side. You're going to get the accompanying number on the right-hand column. Nate says, okay, yeah, I can do that. Sure, I can do that. All right, so good. Next step is, see this form right here? You're going to start with your modified adjusted gross income of $35,000. Now, you told me you made $35,000 in that first year, and there is a difference for modified adjusted gross income. But most of the time, if you're not worried about, if there's no Social Security involved or tax-exempt interest involved, your AGI and your modified AGI are going to be the same thing. So this is what happened in Nate's case. He had no Social Security. He's got no tax-exempt interest. He only made $35,000. That's going to be his MAGI also, modified adjusted gross income. Okay, next line is your family poverty level for the people living in the lower 48. Household of 2. Remember we looked at that chart, 17,420. You just divide one into the other. And we get a household as a percentage of FPL, 201%. We go back to that form we looked at with the columns. Remember that? You go to the 201 on the left-hand side, read across. It'll say 0.0204. Nate says, okay, I can do that. 0.0204. You multiply the 0.0204, you multiply it by your 35,000, that equals $714. That's your annual contribution. That's your MAGA, MAGI, whatever, times your applicable figure. Okay, all right. Okay, I think I can do this. What's next? All right, well, we're going to determine your SLSP, your second lowest silver premium in your territory there for someone your age. All right, so we start off with your annual contribution amount. Remember, we just did that, $714. You add in your annual subsidy of $3,516. Your total is your annual SLSP of $4,230. I'm doing all these numbers, but I still don't know what we're getting at. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. You told Nate we're almost there. Now we plug it in for this year. Let's see what happens this year, because you made $75,000, right? Yes, I did. Okay, so your modified adjusted gross income is $17,500. Once again, the poverty level is $17,420. The household income now, divide one to the other, is 431%. Now, if you go back to that table and you look down, you'll see it says anything in excess of 400%, 400, is going to be 0.085. So that's where you're at. You made a nice amount of money. You're going to be at the 0.085. You multiply that 0.085 times the 75,000, and you get 6,375. That's your annual contribution amount. Well, what's my subsidy now? Well, since the second lowest silver plan is set 4,230, and your annual contribution is 6,375, Nate, you're not going to get a subsidy now. You made enough money. Government says you don't get a subsidy. I said, well, what did he do? Well, he got white as a ghost. Actually, he got angry. He says, what the hell? It wasn't my fault. I don't pay that back to the government. Nobody can start, Well, you said, wait a minute. Calm down a little bit, okay? Let me just ask you a few questions, you said. You said, listen, Nate, how was it getting by on $35,000 a year? Oh, it's awful. It was terrible. I couldn't pay the bills. It was so difficult. Right. And how was it making $75,000 a year? Oh, much better. Wife's happy. We can go out to dinner a few days a week. Much better. Right. So back then when it was tough, they give you an advance. Give you an advance of some money to help you pay the bills. Make sure you can pay the insurance bill. You need to have good health insurance. But now that you're making some money, it didn't ask you for the money for the prior year. You're not paying back prior year. This year, for the year 2021, they're just saying you need to pay back that advance. I said, well, what did Nate say to that? Well, Nate was all over it. He said, yeah, you know what? They helped me out. They got me on my feet. And now I know what it's going to be in April. I can prepare for that. I got 4 months to save up the money, make sure I'm not overspending there. I know I'm going to have to pay back some income taxes too. And now I got to pay back some money for the Affordable Care Act. So I said, well, that's great. How do you feel about that? And you told me, you know what, it feels really good because a lot of people are confused. They don't know what's going on. They don't know how to figure the numbers. They maybe wait until April and maybe the accountants can tell them what it is. But if they can compute the numbers, you can guide them through step by step. And they understand why it is. And they know how much they're going to have to pay come April if that's a situation. They can plan for it. And people, are much happier for that. They don't like to get things sprung on them. So I said, you know what, that's great. That is really great. And that's why you are one ACE accountant. Let's give you a round of applause. All right.